Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, so just reminding you as we approach these holidays and merry solstice, starting this holiday, I do have gift certificates available if you would like to gift somebody that, or if you would like a reading for yourself. I do palm tarot and astrology readings, so feel free to hit me up. All right, the message for today is tenacious commitment to your inner light and soul. All right, so we start out with the Chariot upright and the Ace of Wands reversed. It made my heart hurt when I saw this. I'm like, oh man, because you see, he's like totally facing this ace. We want the door to be open, baby. We want the door to lead right to our passion, right to, living our purpose. But the door is closed. At least you see the door. The more important thing is the Chariot card and it's upright. So there is something about what your soul is calling you towards. There is something about soul's journey and knowing that purpose. So many people are lost right now, and so many people, maybe don't even feel like they have permission to identify their soul purpose because, we're so busy serving the ideals of others, the constructs of reality that were created for us by those who don't really have any interest in our soul's purpose, our soul's purpose. So at least this Chariot is here. So whoever I'm talking to, you know who you are, you know what your soul longs for. And it doesn't have to be about money. So often it is, or so often even if this isn't about money, we don't feel like we're free to go after it because of other obligations and whatever. I want to bring your focus just to this though. Outside of this, who are you? What is your inner light? And we're going to get to that in just a minute. I love that it's solstice. I will say the sun card did come out. Not exactly the way we want it to, but at least the sun card did come out. So again, I feel confusion off of this. It's like I see the journey ahead, or I see what my soul's purpose is. I see the reason why I have these gifts or these, talents, or I have these desires. I see how it so aligns to expressing my authenticity. But then there's this confusion. So I know who I am. Why is the door locked? Honestly, I kind of feel like it's a collective thing. You really have an opportunity to be committed to who you are. It's like choose your commitment right now. And I know it's not easy. We have bills to pay. Like, I'm right there with you. I so get it. At the same time, it's so important now more than ever, like literally the astrology that's going on. And so we are all kind of being tested. And I am not in any way advising anybody to fuck up your life or, put yourself in any kind of danger. It's not that at all. It's more about an internalized commitment. Just decide that however long it takes, you are going to have a tenacious commitment to who you are. Or don't, but you can right now. And it feels like now between now and the spring equinox, I would say, we're really going to be challenged. And of course, once both Neptune and Saturn go into Aries, when they go conjunct on February 20th, that's going to be a huge door opening. And so the more you can align yourself to that commitment, at least an internalized thing, and it's like staying vigilant. He's looking for his opportunity. He's very savvy and cunning, maybe even. So the door may not be open yet, but stay very alert, stay aware and look for the doors to open. And as soon as that door opens, I would say, go for it, All right. So, but with that, then we move on. Then I do want to go to the sun card. So the sun came out reversed. It's still the sun. And I think it's kind of interesting that the sun would come out reversed on the longest night of the year. Winter solstice is the birth of the sun. It's where from today on, now the days will start getting longer again. Yes, it might get a little bit colder before it gets warmer, but at least the days are getting longer again. So there's something that speaks to that inner light, that soul's light. And I attended a Zoom thing this morning, and the lady gave a beautiful talk about she was talking about the Gnostic Jesus, which isn't usually a type of gathering that I join, but for whatever reason, Spirit Life had me attend this. And I really loved and appreciated that she spoke about that, how, traditional religions try to convince you that the light is outside of you, and you've got to appease that or something. But she spoke about this Gnostic approach, and the teachings were that the divinity is inside of you, the light is inside of you, that inner light, and that's where you find true connection first and foremost. So that it does say something about aligning to that. A lot of times when the sun is reversed, it makes me, want to give examples like from my own life. Many of us might come into the world and we're strange because we know who we are. Not to say most people don't know who they are, but I don't know. I don't know if most people know who they are when they come into this life or any time during their lifetime, because there are things put in place to tell us who we're supposed to be. So how do we know who we really are? But some of us, we know exactly who we are. Maybe we're artists, maybe we sing, maybe, maybe we're really good at math, maybe we, maybe we're psychics, maybe, whatever it is, there's something unique in knowing who we are. And I think that from an early age, maybe we call bullshit on bullshit, hypocrisy or contradictions, or something that just, I thought you told me to tell the truth. Why are you telling me to be someone that I'm not? Because that's not the truth. Why do you want me to conform? That's not the truth of who I am. That sort of thing. And so we get people in our life that really, because maybe they were shut down or they just never really knew who they were, it's almost like they project a resentment onto us, and it gives us this belief that we're not likable when we shine our light too brilliantly. And so that's, I don't know, that's just what wants to come through. That's what wants to be said. It's building on a conversation I actually had right before I started this reading, about these influences in our lives that, but are we just supposed to dim our light? And what about those people that are saying, I love it when you shine brightly. I love when you do that thing that you do. I love when you paint. I love when you dance. I love when you write stories. I love when you sing. I love when you play your instrument. I love when you teach me about history or whatever your thing is. I love when you're gardening and you make those beautiful flowers bloom, or whatever. I guess we don't really make the flowers bloom, but whatever. So it's like whatever your things are. And I can't help but feel that these two cards, they must be connected in some way. And so maybe that's the secret is, this door isn't opening because maybe you're not being completely honest with yourself about shining your true light. Maybe there's still this fear that's telling you it's not safe to be brilliant. So we want this to be upright. And then, to add to that, we've got the 7 of Swords reversed. And so it is an internalized belief. 7 of Swords by itself, it can be deception. It can be, it can be deceptive people outside of you. But I feel like when the Swords card is reversed, it's more about an internalized belief. And so with these two cards coming out next to each other, it very much is that there are lies that are deceiving you about shining your truth, shining your brilliance, being who you truly are, shining that brilliant, authentic light, expressing yourself. And, it's not easy to overcome those beliefs. They're indoctrinations. And so much of this is generational as well. So the people that, we love the most sometimes can be the most disapproving. So it is a lot to overcome, but it doesn't mean that it's an unworthy goal. It's the most worthy goal. The most worthy goal is to bring this deception into the light and connect with your truth so that you can open doors. And so the card to overlight all of this, to guide all of this, when I saw it, I heard tenacious. And that is the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Fire. I love that it's a bear. Bears are quite tenacious, and they will find a way to survive. They will find a way to get to where they're going. They will always find a way, and they're formidable. I love that they're actually the bears that I've come across, and I grew up in Colorado in the mountains, and now I live in the mountains in Asheville, North Carolina. I see a lot of black. It's always been black bears, though. Those are the most domicile of the bears, and so thankfully I've never had to encounter a polar bear or a grizzly or anything, but bears, they're beautiful and they're peaceful, and I've even seen like things online about how bears will just sit and look at the horizon. They'll just take in the breathtaking beauty of nature. Like that speaks to soul, that speaks to intelligence, that speaks to something, I don't know, something very magical. And the Queen of Wands is the witch of the tarot. Normally she has her little black kitty with her. Her power is the element of fire. And so that element of fire, it's passion. And here we are with this Ace of Fire. It's passion, motivation, inspiration, creativity, it's action, it's courage, it's tenacity, it's desire. And it's that tenaciousness, that tenacity. And so when you are tenacious about, opening doors to fulfill your soul's purpose, to align to what feels like destiny, to live in truth, to shine your brilliant light. And so that is the guidance. That is the guiding card. Underneath that, we've also got the King of Swords. And so it is about, also, I want to say commitment to truth. And man, it's not easy to commit to truth when your truth is your expression that people have told you to keep hidden. But don't be dim for anyone. One of my favorite things to say is there's not an honest fucking thing about conformity. And that's not what I thought I was going to say, but I always say it anyway. Another one is there is no amount of dimming your light ever. Ever, ever, ever. There is no amount of dimming your light ever that can compensate for the insecurities of others. Ever. You cannot compensate for the insecurities of others, nor should you have to. And I'm pretty fond of saying fuck them. And the thing is, if your light, your brilliance, it's going to trigger people. And so, but it's also going to inspire. I've been giving an example lately because I am a singer and also a clairsentient, and so I feel everything, and so I put up energy light boundaries and stuff like that, and I'll be making videos for that. I've got a lot of ideas that I want to be making videos for, but I've been telling people lately about how I'll sing at the grocery store. People carry such heavy energies at the grocery store, and sometimes they get so close and I start getting like an anxiety, or I'll start picking up on whatever energy frequency that they're vibing in. And so I'll start singing to dominate the frequency, to blast the frequency with something of a vibration that is more aligned to my truth. and it's crazy how it's a sonic kind of a thing, and people that don't appreciate it. It's funny when you sing, strangers at least usually won't tell you to stop singing. But the ones who don't like it usually will move away quickly. But then, and I've been telling people, but then I've also experienced it. I'll be singing at the grocery store, and there will people from aisles away that will come find me. They want to know who's singing and to appreciate it. So never doubt who will benefit from you shining your light. First and foremost, you benefit from shining your light. And if it helps you create a barrier, you know, if cracking a joke helps to raise the vibration and not everybody appreciates it, but it makes you laugh. And of course, we don't want to be assholes, you know, we don't want to intentionally make people uncomfortable. But if shining your light and you're authentically and genuinely wanting to bring in a higher vibration, you know, live your purpose. And whether people are inspired or whether people are triggered, they're not going to forget it. Boy, I didn't know that the King of Swords was underneath that Queen of Fire, Queen of Wands. But what a great pair. So, you know, commit to your truth. Commit to communicating your truth, whether you're speaking or singing or painting, drawing, whatever it is, planting flowers, whatever it is, but stay committed to that and communicate your truth in the way that conveys your tenacity, your tenacious commitment to your passion, to your truth, to living on purpose. And I believe that all of that will lead to you opening this door. I have to believe that. So I hope you do too. All right, that's all I have for today. Once again, my name is Fairlight. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've had a very merry winter solstice. It never turns off.